morning, everybody. Still waking up over here. And I haven't tweeted yet. Good morning, everybody. Still waking up over here. What is going on? I haven't tweeted yet. That's pretty strange. Oh, I know what's going on. Ha. Twitch, come on. There we go. It was speaking back to me everything I was saying. Apparently I had the video preview running. Interestingly. Hey Martin, good morning. Alright. I don't quite know what we're going to work on today, but I do know we have a number of bugs to fix. A prominent one, obviously, is with the voice recognition for the UK. Hey, Pac-Man, DJ Quad, welcome, guys. I'm not sure what's going to be best for the live stream. I have that. Escape isn't working when backing out twice in big box. That's a big deal. Shinra358 says items in the wheel skip around, which I have never seen before, and I've never had anybody else other than him report that, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Then there's this as well. So some minor glitches there, except the escape thing is not really a minor glitch. That's kind of a real problem right now. This is a particular issue with the voice recognition, but there's some more other major issues with the voice recognition for the UK that I need to try and figure out. Unfortunately, that one I'm going to have to build up a VM and everything else for. Sure. Well, welcome either way, Martin. Adequate morning. Jade, I'm with you there. Pac-Man, yes, we did. If you've used the latest betas, you'll notice that they're all split up. So I do need to put out a tweet. Let me do that here. Live streaming on Twitch right now. I don't even know what to tweet. What do I tweet, guys? I try and come up with a different thing to tweet every single time. And I don't even know if it's even worth it, frankly. Because I kind of doubt we get that many more viewers because of the tweet, but I don't know. Maybe we do. Did I curse a lot? No, believe it or not, the XML splitting stuff was basically done in the live stream. We basically got everything done right that morning. And I was just testing and cleaning a few things up in the afternoon. Nothing huge. So yeah, that went pretty well for the most part. I can't remember what happened end of stream, but anyways, I remember it going fairly well after the stream to wrap things up. Oh yeah, so what we were dealing with was the automating the thing that says when a particular file needs to be updated, and I ended up doing a manual approach code wise, but I used ReSharper to automate the code reconstruction, so that helped. It was still annoying, but it wasn't too bad. It was a straightforward solution. There was really no other way. But and it was a lot of code to change, but I used ReSharper to help me significantly with that. Martin, scratch that Twitch. Join us in the live stream. Not bad. Jade, I don't know if I've ever cursed in the live streams. I don't know. I hope not. I try not to. Frankly, I don't like that about myself, but I do have a cursing issue from time to time. Yes. Typically, though, it's not the way my I don't know. It's funny. I have a I never curse in public like ever, and I never curse around my kids, and I never curse around my wife because my wife hates it. But it's always when I'm by myself, when I'm by myself and I do something stupid, or I'm coding and or I stub my toe or something stupid like that. That's when it always comes out. Yeah, Pac-Man. I contacted Bleasby, and he was pretty happy to hear that we had separated that stuff out. So absolutely. Hey, Pure Luck, welcome. Hey, Stifilus. Killer Thanos. LaunchBox and Big Box will not open at all. The newest beta. What happens? Exactly. Do you get any errors, or it just doesn't open? Also, have you tried rebooting? Stuff like that. What's the error? It's all about what's in the error message. Hey, Jezzo. Yeah, it has been a while. Welcome. It's possible he has Plays TV installed. Key already exists in the dictionary. Yeah, if generally that means corrupted XML, but I suppose it could be a problem with the beta, but Send me your launchbox.xml, Killer Thanos. Send it to that email, jason@unbrokensoftware.com, if you would, and I can test with it and see if it's a corrupted XML or if it's. And I can do that right now, even, because if we have a major issue like that in the beta, that'd be a real problem. So we need to determine whether that's an issue with the beta or if it's just some kind of fluke that you ran into. If it's an issue with the separating out of the XML, that's a possibility. And if it is, I definitely need to look at that and get it fixed. Well, considering that I don't even know what I'm going to be working on this morning, let's just say a prayer, and we'll get into whatever we get into here, I guess. Lord, clear my head. Give me direction. Give us direction. And give me the knowledge and the drive and the conversations. Give us the conversations that we need in order to be productive today. I'm feeling particularly unproductive today, so I need extra help this morning in conquering something and getting something done, and just help us make a good decision as far as what the best thing to tackle this morning is. Thank you for your forgiveness, for your love, and your direction and your guidance that is always there for us. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So, yes, and Lord, please be with Martin's wife. Clear up her cold, heal her body, so that she can just continue and go on with her life without being disturbed by sickness, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen. Killer Thanos, yeah, by email. Hey, K-Money. No problem, Martin. Amen. All right. So, by the way, guys, everybody on this in the stream, has anybody seen any freezes with the latest versions, the latest betas, or the latest 6.9 of Big Box? Has anybody seen any actual freezes? Well, we have seen freezes, and they've almost always been related to Plays TV. So that's annoying. By the way, excuse me, the Plays TV stuff, if you guys haven't caught up with that, thankfully the Plays TV, well, first of all, what's going on? Plays TV has been crashing Big Box and possibly LaunchBox too. I haven't confirmed that, but it was definitely crashing Big Box like 2 minutes in. You'd open it up, and 2 minutes in it would crash every single time. And it was horrible. I mean, and this is something that's installed on a million different gamers' machines, and it's getting installed with ATI video drivers. So I'm serious. It was getting installed on like everything. So I went into a rage of panic yesterday and contacted Plays TV every way I possibly could. Sent out a big mass email to everybody on the email list saying, uninstall Plays TV, it breaks your system, and all this stuff, because I did not want, the Big Box's reputation to get tarnished for being completely unstable, because it is when you have Plays TV installed, but it's Plays TV's fault, and it's just a mess. And anyways, they, believe it or not, they got back to me just later that same day that I contacted them, and ultimately added Big Box and LaunchBox to their blacklist. Now that's a good thing, because that means LaunchBox and Big Box, in theory, shouldn't run into the problem anymore. I still don't like that solution though, because like I said in the forum post, it's horrible for the little guy. Because frankly, it was a miracle that people in our community, were able to identify and recognize that Plays TV was the problem in the first place. And so, it's for a random software developer like me, who hasn't grown to be as big as LaunchBox and Big Box has. The product hasn't grown that big, and there's not a huge community behind it. Nobody's ever going to know what's causing these freezes for so many different people. So a blacklist is it's not a good solution. So that's upsetting to me a little bit, but I'm glad at least LaunchBox and Big Box won't be affected by this freeze bug. What ultimately happens is they turn on Plays TV will automatically turn on recording, in-game recording at certain times when you start up games and stuff like that. And for some reason, in WPF, which is the technology that we use for Big Box, of course, specifically in WPF and maybe in other times as well, it will just crash any WPF application that does certain things. It's just ridiculous. So I hope they can manage to fix that, because that is a horrible, horrible problem. What they should do, at least, is check to see if it's a WPF application that's running, and not do whatever they're doing, because it's kind of a disaster. So that's the crap I was dealing with yesterday. But thankfully, in theory, it should be overnight. They should have deployed the blacklist to everybody's machines, so it shouldn't be happening anymore for anybody. Even if you have PlaysDB installed, at this point, it shouldn't be happening. That's what I'm hearing, anyways. So, yeah. There's my little rant. No one should be using AMD cards. Yeah, if it was that, I wish it was that simple, Stifilus. All right, let's see. Text to speech and multiple wheels, but bugs obviously take priority. Sure. Okay, I'll load up that XML in a second here, Thanos. That'll work, as long as I can download it from my email. Doesn't matter. You guys are silly and ridiculous. I'm not going to try and fight with you, though, because I know you're just pulling my leg. I need a cool LaunchBox for my new LaunchBox machine on my case in the living room. LaunchBox sticker. Ah, that would be cool. We haven't done any LaunchBox stickers, but that would be neat. We've been talking a lot lately about getting better merch, so definitely need to do something along those lines. Rescan a whole platforms. It's relatively easy. Just select a platform, Control A to select all games. Go to Tools, download metadata and images, and go through the process. Run through the wizard, Jezzo, and that'll do it. All right, so let me check my email here. Well, that's interesting. I don't have an email. Thanos. Maybe it's just taking a while. But I didn't get an email from you, oddly. Alright. So one thing we definitely need to fix. Yeah, I wish I had a sticker. I need to get some stickers. World of excitement. Thank you, Pure Luck. That's great to hear. Well, while we're waiting for that XML, let me demonstrate one issue that we've got here. Load up Big Box. My sound card. I switch sound cards and it does that sometimes, where it doesn't wake up until partly into whatever sound is playing. It's kind of weird. I don't know what the problem is with me and sound cards, but Anyways, so if we go, for example, into Genesis and back out, oh, see, now that's working. I don't know. Sometimes the back button doesn't work for people, is the issue. And I honestly, I don't know what's causing it in particular. I think I know what it's related to, though. So, because if you scroll, then it doesn't work until the scrolling until the update finishes. So you go to a different one, and I added code to stop it from going back until after the animation finishes. So I'm guessing that change is what's causing it, but I kind of need to figure out how to fix that for some people. I'm not seeing it. That's the thing. Got your XML, Thanos. So I'm downloading that XML, and we will try and load it up here. All right. So what I'm going to do is just copy my metadata folder and my just that stuff, and we're going to create a new folder in my root. So that's like a bare LaunchBox install. And this is his XML file, which is actually pretty small, so it could be corrupted. Let's take a look at it. It looks fine at the top. Yeah, it looks like it's a complete file. So let's load it up, see what happens. Yeah, it worked. So what I'm guessing is that maybe there's a conflict between the data folder and your LaunchBox XML file. Well, now so if we try starting up a second time. It's working. So here's what I would try. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Martin. I saw that earlier, and I think you might be onto something here. So yeah, Martin, if you could, or Thanos, if you could go into your LaunchBox folder and delete the data folder. Or if you want to be safe, don't delete it, but move it somewhere else so that it's not in your LaunchBox folder. And then try it again and see what happens. Beatomaniac, yes, I do plan on creating vlogs. I don't plan on doing anything live just because I don't have the equipment to do it. It's actually gonna be different than I expected, the trip, because I'm taking my wife with me. Not my kids, but I'm taking my wife with me, and you guys have never met or seen my wife, so you might get some. You're gonna get to meet my wife in the process, I think here. My wife and I are gonna be taking a road trip. That's a 24-hour road trip to Retropalooza, and we're taking 2 days to do it. So I'm gonna try to actually record the whole trip over there, and then we're gonna do our best to do some recording. To do some recording at the event as well. Cool, Thanos. Okay, so what that means, I guess, is that all I can figure what happened is somehow LaunchBox got killed while it was in the process of doing the data folder stuff, and ended up. I don't know. Ended up with 2 copies somehow. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Why not just fly there? Well, partly because we've got the cabinet with us, and I don't want to. It's my baby, and I don't want to ship it or risk anything getting messed up with it. So that's kind of the biggest reason why we're driving. My wife does like games, but not anywhere near as much as we do. She's not a, honestly, I wouldn't consider her a serious gamer. She loves, I mean, she was playing Minecraft the other day. She plays Mario, but she's never been, Tetris is one of her favorites, but she's never been a huge gamer. So that's where my wife comes from. She's not, she plays games, she likes games, but she's not what I would call a real gamer, I suppose. Beatomaniac, that's a good point. Yeah. I don't know, it might be kind of awkward. We'll see what we can do. I really don't know. It'll be interesting. Hey Doss. We are solving everyone's problems. I don't know. So far today we have not been that productive. It's my fault. Anyways, so now that we know that's fixed, let's go ahead and delete this. We don't need this. I want to try and fix the escape thing as best we can. It seems to be primarily on the filters view. So let's go, it's in view models, and then filters view models. Start here, platform wheel, filters view model base, on escape. I wonder, actually. Oh, that's, oh, right, so we don't do it there. So this is what I'm doing. If not this dot is loaded, return false. What I could do is do something called delay. I have a feeling I have a solution for this. We're going to try it. Yeah, I'm with you, Beatomaniac, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's the wrong term. The thing is, like, what I'm trying to say is she likes games casually every few. I mean, every she'll play like a game every few weeks. So she's really not, she doesn't game very often at all. So I'm not trying to like be exclusive or anything like that, but she's not a big gamer. So that's exactly what I'm planning on doing, Martin. I'm gonna just put a Boolean in there that specifies that escape was requested, and then wait to actually perform it until everything is updated. That's what I'm going to try, because I think that's going to do it ultimately. So we're going to add a Boolean, and we're going to have to do this on several different places, I'm guessing. Loaded. Oh. Well, we just need a private one, so we'll put it here. Protected, actually. Thumbs enabled, index enabled, and escape delayed. And then in my on escape, We are going to return false, but I'm going to say this dot escape delayed equals true. Oh yeah, that's just dumb. I don't consider um, the type of game you play does not have any uh, difference on the label of whether you're a gamer. What to me, what has a difference on the label of whether you're a gamer is whether you spend any time at all playing a game in a typical week. And my wife, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to pick at my wife. I love her to death, but she doesn't typically play any games in a week. She does, but um, only if someone presents it to her or something like that. Anyways, I don't know. Doesn't matter. So escape delayed. Stimulus. Yeah, yeah. Well, I spend all my time programming LaunchBox. That's the thing. All configuring and no playing. All right, so escape delayed, and then what we can do is at the end of the timer, we'll look for is loaded. Whenever we set is loaded to true, which should only be in one spot, it's right here, what we can say is if this dot escape delayed, then I'm going to say the only issue is that playing the sound effect is not, well, I don't know, we'll have to feel it out. If this dot escape delayed, then we're going to call this dot on escape, and then this dot escape delayed equals false. I think that'll do it. However, I'm not clear if that's going to work in this thread or not. I think I might need to do this. What is it? What's the stupid syntax? Location.current.dispatcher, fine. Okay. And in theory, that'll solve the problem, I guess. No, we need to check the on escape again. And I'm going to try just returning true, so it's going to play the sound immediately and then do it. I think that might actually make sense. The other thing we need to do is if escape is already delayed, we don't want to take the input anymore, so I'm going to return false. And that should handle. Now filters view model base, we need to check that. There's an on escape there as well. So we need to do the same code here. Okay. And then in the elapsed the same thing here. Something like that. Okay, and then, is this anywhere else? Not there, and then there's no on escape either. So that's safe. This might, I'm not sure. I think I've got it covered. Yeah. All right. Let's try it and see what happens. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of people switching. It's been pretty awesome. Every time I open LaunchBox Big Box, I'm almost disappointed when I don't see an update. That's funny. Hey, Vissy. So right now we're trying to fix a bug with the back button in Big Box. Yeah, that makes sense. I hope we can end up with as great a community as the Hyperspin community, or even better. You know, that's kind of what I'm really shooting for, and I think we're getting there pretty quick. I really do. All right, we're built. Let's see what happens. All right, so in theory, if I go quick, all right, but it didn't go. So something is off there. Oh, I know why. I didn't time it quite right. I have to say escape delayed equals false before we call the on escape method. Why I just thought about that, I don't know. And that needs to happen in two different places, because I check to see if escape is delayed, and if it is, then I don't run the escape. I feel like we already do have some really awesome theme makers, but I do need to get back and add. Very soon, I want to focus on add. It's raining outside. It hasn't rained here in so long. That's good. That's awesome. I do want to get back to the theme stuff so we can add game-specific themes. That's very, very important. So that we need something for the typical hyperspin scenario where, okay, for this game, I want this floating image over here, you know, that kind of thing. We definitely want game-specific themes coming up soon. If there's anything that I feel like we're missing, big features we're missing from Hyperspin, it's that, game-specific themes. And I know a lot of people don't even want that because they want a more uniform experience, but I know a lot of people do as well. So, anyways. Contact is bothering me. All right, here we go. Hopefully this works. There it is. Not bad. What do you guys think? So it doesn't go back until it's done updating, basically. That's pretty ideal. And then if I wail on the button, still, you can still get that sound effect going on and on and on if you're not moving, but it doesn't cause problems at least. Yeah, I like that. So let's do the same thing for games, just in case, and hopefully that will solve people's issues with the escape button. If that doesn't, then I think we've got something else going on. So under Games View Models, let's start with the base. We need to add another bool here for, what did I call it? Escape delayed. And then on escape, just copy the code. So right now, just like that. Virtua Racing. The Eon Nox theme. I think I saw it actually briefly, yeah. Yep. It's more of an HTPC style theme, and it reminds me a lot of XBMC, right? Did you take your medication today? That's great. All right, so let's and then elapsed. If this dot escape delayed, so just copy this. There it is. Now, I want to check for more instances of this, because this init says loaded equals true. This is on initialization though, so I don't think I need to worry about anything there. I don't think that'll be an issue. So if you're refreshing a game though, I see. Oh, it's gonna call, it doesn't matter because it's calling, we're good, I think. Yeah, alright. So let's go through these. On escape isn't a thing here. So this is just using the same stuff from the base, I believe. So we're good on that one. Cover flow. Okay, we definitely need it here. Or do we? I'm not sure. Because we don't really have an elapsed. We do. Okay. Yeah, we do need it here. All right. That's covered, and then we need to do the same thing with game details, or cover flow with details. There we go. We already covered that. Text games view model and wheel games view model. On escape. That's using the base. Elapsed. Also using the base. So this is the last one we got to touch. I think we do need it for this one. On escape. So first off, grab these. And then we grab this. And in theory, that'll handle it. Eon Knox, Retro FE. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, this is what I have seen. It does look nice. Definitely reminds me of Cody in every way, shape, and form. Sure. Let's get into the games. Does it show games? There it is. Sure. Yeah, that's pretty. So most of that stuff should be doable, or everything really should be doable. In LaunchBox and Big Box, if somebody wanted to build a theme. Give permissions to use the graphics. Sure. So you guys want me to build an Eon Knox theme? Ah, Cool. I thought that it's funny. I thought that stretch video thing was kind of neat, K Money. But yeah, I can see how it's weird a little. All right. So this should be built. Let's go ahead and give it a start. So we'll go into, say, another thing I'm curious about is what if you go into 32x before it loads it's loaded. Is that an issue ever? That could be an issue. For example, you go down to Atari 2600 and then you press enter immediately before it gets a chance to load up. That also could be an issue that we might want to look at. But anyways, same kind of thing. Escape. There it is. Yep, that's working great. I like that. Awesome. All right, so the next, I'm thinking maybe we should do the same thing for on enter, because that might solve some issues. I know, oh, it's doing my, I apparently have, ooh, attract mode is doing it, guys. Attract mode kicked in, and all of a sudden my escape key doesn't work. That's a good find, until you move. So it's when attract mode kicks in that it messes up the escape key somehow. No kidding. Yeah, Martin, I think, yeah, so this is another issue that Martin's talking about. So if we quickly go into, so we're on Atari Jaguar right now. I'm going to stop on, it doesn't matter, NES, and then quickly go in before it refreshes. Now, if I back out, I have Nintendo Entertainment System selected and Atari Jaguar selected on the right. What's causing that is the fact that it's not updating the stuff on the right before hitting enter. So that's what we need to fix. And I think we can use the same concept that we did for on escape for the enter stuff, and it'll work the same way. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead and go back through and do the exact same thing we did for escape for enter, which should solve the exact same issue. So let's go ahead and do that. Start on the filters. The filters are the main issue. I think we'll do it on games too, just to be safe though. We need another one called enter delayed. And then on enter, we say if this dot enter delayed, return false, and if if not, this dot is loaded, we're gonna do return true, but this dot enter delayed equals true. And then of course in the elapsed on the timer, when it's done doing everything, if this dot enter delayed, this dot enter delayed equals false. Application current dispatcher invoke this dot on enter. And in theory, that'll do it. We just have to do the same thing elsewhere as well. So let's do it. Easy enough. Copy that. Oops, that was the wrong one. Goes right there. And then the on enter method, just go to it here. Copy that. On enter. There it is. So that should handle it for filters. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for games. We already know what files we need to update, so it's relatively simple here. We're going to go into on enter here first, since I've already got that ready to paste. I need to put enter delayed at the top of the file. Not sure. I don't think it doesn't really make any difference, but I've been doing it consistently like that for the games ones, so we'll do that. Let's make this quicker. Let's go ahead and do all this update here together. Oops. Okay, and then the elapsed. Oops. We need to copy what I had in here. This guy. Okay. Then we have the wheel. And the two cover flows. Oh yeah, this one's simple. Bingo. That'll do it, in theory. What's the schedule look like before Retropalooza? So stability is the primary goal. Absolutely. Stability and performance. I do see adding more custom themes stuff. But we will be leaving for Retropalooza in a week and a day. So we don't have a whole lot of time. We leave on the 29th, so that I can drive on the 29th, and then the 29th and the 30th, and then on the 1st, we're there at the convention. So we've only got like a week and a day. So I don't think we're going to be doing a whole lot of new exciting stuff other than maybe custom theme stuff and performance tweaking and fixes. But yeah, that's going to be the goal. I don't know. I don't know. You never know what we might get in there, though. I do need exciting stuff to share with people in the emails. So, and next week, I'm going to be working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, of course. So we will do the live streams next week on Monday and Wednesday. And then the 29th and the 30th will be driving, so I won't be doing any work those days. And then the first and the second is the convention. I'm hanging out with Brad. We are hanging out with Brad on the 3rd, probably at an amusement park or something. We might be live streaming that. We'll see. Or not live streaming it, but vlogging it. And then we'll probably be driving back on the 4th and the 5th. So this the week after next week, we won't be doing any videos. Basically, we won't be doing any. We'll be doing the vlogs, but it might take a while for us to get those edited because we're going to be traveling and stuff. So, anyways, this coming week we will have the live streams. We won't have any live streams the week after that, though. That's the schedule because of Retropalooza. So, anyways, that's that. So we should be built, right? Yep. Cool. Okay. So if I quickly go into Master System, there it is. Then, of course, if I back out, we're on Master System. Awesome. That works very well. The only other thing I can think is, for example, game details. Same issue. See that? 1941 is in there. So we have the same issue going into the game details. Although that's less of a major thing. That's another thing. Goodness sakes. That only affects the games, obviously. Or does it? Yeah, it only affects the games. I need to change my attract mode. I was testing attract mode. All right. All right, so a couple things here. One, come on, what's going on with my keyboard? Wireless issues. So one is that after attract mode, escape key isn't working. That's what people are seeing, I'm guessing, as far as when they're jamming the escape key. The reason why that's not working is the attract mode is taking over and messing something up. So we got to look at that. Then also, and that's an important one, game details in game details, getting things out of sync. No sound effect when pressing game details. Those three things. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I want to get all this stuff fixed. Yeah, agreed, Beatlemaniac. Yes, I am meeting Brad in person for the first time. We've never met in person before. We've talked about it, but we've never gotten together. Static Fade. When in attract mode in the Switch platforms, do you guys see the games on the left and a blank black screen until it picks a game? Yes, yes we do. And I've thought about fixing that. but I'm concerned that it's going to create performance issues. So, yeah, I know that's not ideal. Um, I need to. I don't know what to do about that though. Currently, what should you do? If you always load the first game in the list, then it's just a consistency issue. When you um, So we could figure out how to randomize where it lands, or just randomize where it starts. But believe it or not, even that is potentially no. I don't. I think that would work fine. What we would do, I guess, is when you first load up the games list, we would need to figure out how to randomize a particular game and not spin the wheel until a cycle is gone through. Ultimately, um, so that would be probably a good idea. Although that's probably not very high priority. Cool. Thanks, Martin. I appreciate it. Sweet dreams. All right. Where are we at? So what should we tackle first? These go together. I think the most important thing that we really need to tackle is that. But this is basically going to be the exact same thing we've been doing. So I kind of want to tackle that because that's where my head is with the game details. So what do we have here? We should start with the base. Is there an on show, on game? I don't know. There's got to be something. Page down, page up. Huh. Alright, well, let's check the main view model. Show game details. Okay, so it's just show game details. That's funny. Backing out here, though, we need to make these bools and then play the sound effect for one thing. And I'm going to add another boolean up here. Enter delayed, game details delayed. Same kind of thing. So if not this dot is this dot loaded, this dot game details delayed equals true, return true, and then if this dot game details delayed, return false. Oh, I see. So there. Also a ticket for making sure that a track mode doesn't land on the same randomized game. This could be a big problem if you only have a few games per platform. Yeah, that is going to be a bugger to solve. Based on the way we've implemented it, basically, it's completely random, and it just uses input. In other words, the current attract mode setup has no idea what game it's landing on, and it doesn't care. It just goes randomly with inputs. It's literally just emulating keyboard inputs randomly. That's what it's doing. So getting that fixed so that it's actually aware of the games it's landing on is going to be a major. I mean, it's not going to be horrible, but it's not going to be easy. So that one I'm not going to prioritize very high, just because of the amount of effort required and changes required in order to make that happen. And not to mention, there's lots of people that like it that way, that want the truly random experience, and there's other people that want a more guaranteed variable experience. Anyways, hey Camel. I'm glad you guys like to watch this. I really am, because it's good for everything, really, and it's even good for my ego. I appreciate you guys, I really do. All right. Sup. So show game details. We've done the game details delayed and not this dot loaded. And then we need to do the same thing. I think I'm going to copy this stuff here first, though. This goes at the top. So this was in Games View Model Base. We do need to check. Because we have overridden it here. So this is bool. This dot game details delayed, return false. If not, this dot loaded. Oh, the other thing is we should check on enter to see if anything else is different here. That's a good point. Is on enter in here? Yes, it is. So this is, I'm glad I'm checking this, because I missed this particular instance of on enter that we really need. So this particular view would not have had that fix that we just added. So let's go grab that. We need this. Okay. And then cover flow. Start with on enter. Well, we already did that one, so that one's safe with the on enter, but we need show game details. That, and then we're going to return true at the end and change this to a bool. Okay. Same thing here. And we've covered Games View Model Base, text Games View Model. That's using the show game details from the base. And on enter is also using the on enter from the base. So we don't need to touch that one. Wheel Games View Model. And bool this one. Alright, next we need to go to the main view model and play the sound effect. So we have this, yeah. So if games view model is not equal to null and games view model dot show game details, then we need to say what is it? This dot sound dot play select. Same thing here. if filters view model is not equal to null and filters view model dot show game details, then this dot sound dot play select. What's the problem here? Oh, it's not a Boolean for that one. So we are going to have to do some stuff on the filters. I forgot you can go into the game details from the filters view model. So we got to go back and do those too. That figures. Excuse me. And then from here, I need to go into the timer stuff. Yeah, there it is. And then if this dot game details delayed, this dot game details delayed equals false. Application dot current dot dispatcher dot invoke this dot show game details. There it is. We're going to copy that. Boxes games view model, I don't think has an elapsed. Yeah, that's using the base that we just did. That goes there. And there. Text, I don't think we have an elapsed. Yeah, we don't have, that's using the base. And then the wheel. Yeah. There it is. So that should handle the stuff for the games views in theory. Now for the filters view models. Starting with the base, we do need to add a Boolean here. Enter delayed, game details delayed. And then in elapsed, actually we don't really need the delay for the game details because in the filters, because nothing updates when you select a game in the filters. So the delayed stuff we don't need. What we do need is the Boolean. So that makes this a little bit easier. The only thing we need to change is show game details. We need to change this to a bool. And in this case, we return true. In this case, we return true. And down here, we return false. We don't need that else. There it is. And then the only other thing that should be affected, I think. Oh, that's only in one spot. So if we go back to the base, I think we can see if anything's overriding this. It's only one reference to it, so I think that means nothing's overriding it. Just to be sure, I'm going to get rid of the virtual on there, and it should let us know if that's being overridden by something that I wasn't aware about. But that is really all we need for the filters, I think. Manly hugs. That is good. I like manly hugs. I like manly hugs from men. I don't like other types of hugs from men. Oh, I better shut my mouth. I don't like it when people touch me. Oh. Oh man. Oh, Seinfeld. Anybody seen those? I'm not sure if somebody who mentioned to me. I don't know. I remember who mentioned to me the the Seinfeld guy. Jerry Seinfeld is doing this series called Coffee, Cars, and Comedy or something like that. Um, I've enjoyed a few of those recently. Let's see. We're built. Let's give it a test. Um, what am I doing? We are testing the game details, which I think. All right, first off, we hear a sound effect now when we go into game details. Another thing is the video doesn't play when you get back out of the game details. That's not really a big deal, but it's not ideal either. Or it does sometimes and not others, it seems. Or maybe it's if you back out too quick. I don't know. Whatever. I have no idea. Anyways, so doing it quickly. There it is. Well, that was interesting. That's the wrong video. Something didn't work quite right there. Huh. Yeah. It's not quite working right. What did I do wrong? That time it did, but it's not always working. Sometimes it just goes right into it. It's a little odd. I wonder if we have the same problem on Escape. Huh. Doesn't seem to be... I'm not seeing any problems with Escape. Well, so how did I break game details? That worked. Maybe if it's... I don't know. If I wait for the transition to start, but not finish, you got me. I don't know. I'm not seeing it now, of course. Now, of course, I can't even make it happen. I don't know. Was I just insane, guys? I don't know. I swear I saw it where it wasn't working right. It was going directly in there without waiting. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it's obviously not common. I don't know. I'll call it done for now in that regard. So for now, that will eliminate those two things. The escape key not working after attract mode is a big one, though. So we got to get that fixed. Alright, what do we got going on here? Oh, man. Yeah. You're talking about during my testing, Vitomaniac? I don't know. Yeah, I was just probably just talking out loud. No comment, guys. Can you still return to the platform menu without moving up or down when it doesn't load everything? Ah. Huh? Still return to the platform menu without moving up or down when it doesn't load everything. When it doesn't load everything right. Interesting, Elliot. My impression is that that was being caused by attract mode, but I'm not sure. What do you mean when it doesn't load everything right? Yeah. Yeah, I do a search on LaunchBox and on YouTube every once in a while just to see what comes up, and there's some really awesome stuff that comes up. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So we got to fix the after attract mode escape isn't working thing, and I'm not sure if this is Elliot's issue or not, but let's go ahead and do some testing on that and see if we can see if that is reproducible every single time. Elliot, I left a comment in the beta testing thread, but for that issue you just fixed. Before, if the wrong images were showing, you could not return to the previous menu without moving first. Sure. Okay, well in theory that should be fixed if that was an issue, but I know attract mode is an issue because we just replicated that, so it could have been related to that too, for all I know. Let's go into options. We're going to set attract mode to 10 seconds again. And let it do its thing here. So, wow, that one looks cool. Interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna stop it. Ah, that was interesting. Maybe we've already solved this for all I know. With the changes I just made, it's possible that we did. Because you'll notice how when I press back, it waited for the wheel to catch up and then it escaped. Previously, what it would do is just do nothing. So we might actually already have this solved. Yeah, I'm guessing that's fixed now as well. Honestly, I think we're good. It's gonna be hard to know for sure until we get it out in people's hands, but I don't know. I the same thing I did before isn't causing the same problem, so I assume it's fixed. Try it one more time. Static fade. Can the wallpaper be put in the background at the start of attract mode or when you switch platforms instead of the black screen? Possibly. Although the thing is, the background is calculated based on what game is selected. So it's basically the same issue. Yes, I could load the platform background, but not everybody even has platform backgrounds, and that's different logic than we're using everywhere else. The other thing I hate is when there's black clear logos, they obviously never show up at all. Never like that. I got images still loading here. Cut it off. It backs out. Alright, I think we're good to go there. It's 11 o'clock. We're halfway through our live stream. I'm going to cross this off. I think that's basically fixed. In this thread here, hate that I can't click links in Visual Studio because stupid Visual Studio opens it up inside Visual Studio in whatever crappy browser it's got built in version of IE, I think. So this Walter here was getting this message even when debug mode was not enabled, which is odd. So I need to figure that one out. This will be a quick fix, in theory. I think it's under... It's in the LaunchBox project under voice. It's not in there. It's under speech handler. Debug mode is enabled. Unable to parse start menu applications. First thing I should do is just try and under error, could not parse start menu applications. So if I search for that, then we should find everywhere where that's coming up in the entire project. Yeah, I didn't want that one. The one I don't want, of course. Oh, it's going to go through all the language files first before it gets me the actual code. That figures. Here it is. There's one in commands. I see. This is in add open choices. So we only want to show this error if debug mode is enabled. Basically, if program.datamanager.settings.voice debug mode, then we show this error. Otherwise, we ignore it. Let's go through one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. That's it. The other question is, why in the heck are certain people with different language versions of Windows having issues reading the public start menu folder, the common start menu folder? This still doesn't make any sense to me at all. I have no idea why that's happening, but in that case, I'm just at this point ignoring it, and they won't have access to the applications in the start menu. Don't know what else to do about that. I don't understand why Windows permissions are different for foreign versions of Windows. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Yeah, seriously, Internet Explorer. Edge. I don't use Edge either. I don't like Edge. Oh, that's cool. Pac-Man. I never bothered trying. I just always found it irritating. Open an external browser. Oh, it requires an extension? My goodness. Well, as much as, I hate doing it, it's not something where it's worth going out of my way to install an extension. It's just kind of stupid. Visual Studio. They should make it default to using the default web browser. It's just dumb. Definitely not better. Yeah, Edge. It's good for especially if you have like a tablet. It's good in tablet scenarios. In some ways, it's better than Chrome. But I still use Chrome for everything. Yeah, games import. Oh wait, games to import data grid. Sure, in the wizards, make all fields editable. What fields aren't editable? I thought I made all fields editable that could be. Moo. Edge gets the bronze medal. Yeah. All right. So that in particular is covered. Freezes. I asked this earlier. Has anybody seen any freezes that aren't related to Plays TV in Big Box? That's one question I've got. Or has anybody seen any items in the wheel skipping around? That one puzzles me. I have no clue why that would be happening. This is fixed. I definitely need new translation packages. 3 of them. I got 3 people waiting on me for translation packages. That's definitely something I really need to get done. Although it's not fun to watch, really. You guys have seen me do that before. Elliot, yes. I'm actually planning to focus on it uh, tomorrow or Friday. At least that's my current plan. I know that I've been putting it off and putting it off. And I explained that in a thread somewhere. It's because of the upcoming conference. I just keep putting it off. But yes, I think I'm going to be back on it tomorrow or Friday. It's not my favorite thing to work on, and so that's kind of it's been my fault. I've just been kind of putting it off way too long. But yes, there is plans. Um, Good to hear that it's smooth static fade. I totally am not following that, Jade. Emulator config dialog. Why is the associated platform not a drop-down list? You mean in the grid? It's an autocomplete text box, if I remember correctly, in that grid, or at least that's what it's supposed to be doing. You know, I want people to be able to enter in values that aren't in the list, but I don't know. I implemented that so long ago. I think the only way to do autocomplete was to do it the way we've done it. So, I don't know. Only the game name can be edited. Gotcha. I get it. Sorry, Jade. All right, so in the wizard forms, what are all the columns that show up at the end? Actually, there's no columns. It's all in code. Dot columns. Dot add. So there's the name, the file. Now this is where we do everything read only. But there's 4 columns. You have the name, which you can change. Yeah. The file, which there's no reason to change that because you can't, because you're importing particular files. The extension, which again there's no reason to change. The only thing that would be changeable is disk. But if we allow the user to change, I assume you're maybe getting at the disk column, Jade? Because that's the only thing that would in my head make sense that you would ever want to change, other than name. The problem with allowing people to change the disk column is it's going to throw off the logic we use in order to parse out the disk numbers. Okay, so here's the thing. The disk. So if we allow people to change the disks, the problem is the back end is going to have no idea what games go together, right? So if we allow you to change the disk column, then somebody could put in a disk number on a game that doesn't have any other disks, and then it's just like, okay, what games go together? So that's really kind of the complication there. I don't know how to solve that issue if we allow people to change the disks. So, yeah, we could do some extra logic to, if it has a disk number, you can change it. Otherwise, you can't. Stuff like that. But I don't know. I was just thinking. What's your usage scenario there, Jade? Can you explain why you wanted to change the disk or any of that stuff? That makes sense, Moose. Thanks. Yeah, I can I know I've been in that situation too. It would be nice if it was a drop down. I agree. So we can put in a ticket for that if you want. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what went into my logic when I created that. It's been too long. Thank you, Moose. Yeah, rocket launcher. When I first, to be honest with you guys, when I first loaded up rocket launcher, yeah, I was the same way. This, it's the kind of thing where you load it up and you look at the interface and you say, "This is crap," and you shut it down in 10 minutes, just because it's so in your face and there's so many configuration options. And if there's anything they do a terrible job of, it's making it obvious what things you need to look at and what things you can ignore. But I have to admit that after I watched Simply Austin's tutorial video and played with it a little bit and figured out, okay, I need to work with this section and this section, it got a lot better and easier to work with. And it didn't really take me more than 20 minutes to get everything figured out. So it's not as bad as it looks, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's really pretty simple to get going once you just learn a couple key things. We really need somebody to make a tutorial, sit down and make a tutorial and say, this is the section you need to use, and this is the section you need to use, and go through the process of setting up a new system and stuff like that. They could really use some tutorials and that kind of stuff. But well, that's where I'm coming from with Rocket Launcher. I think it's a great system. I just think they could use a little bit of UI improvements for the noobs. That's the biggest problem. When it comes down to being a noob with Rocket Launcher, you want to just close it out because it's just there's so much in your face, it's impossible to get your head wrapped around things to begin with. Oh, so you wouldn't have to rename your files. Yeah, that makes sense, Jade. I think, yeah, we can add a ticket for that, but it's going to be a complicated mess to solve, unfortunately. So it's probably not anything that can be prioritized. Some don't have the parentheses. Sure. Sounds good, Moose. I personally do not plan on doing a rocket launcher tutorial. No. I still don't think I'm a good person to do it because I can get it up and running. But man, I'm not a rocket launcher expert. And to be honest, for my personal collection, I don't use rocket launcher. I really appreciate everything they're doing, especially for the people that request the rocket launcher features. But personally, I don't prefer to have a lot of those extra features. I don't want a loading screen for my own stuff. I don't want. I would love to have an in-game menu, but so there's not. And the fading stuff, for example, like if an emulator crashes or something weird happens, Rocket Launcher doesn't work properly in a particular case. All of a sudden, my mouse is missing. I can't get back to my OS. That kind of stuff. I would rather not play with any of those extras because it's just not worth it to me. So personally, I don't use Rocket Launcher, and so I'm not a good person to make a tutorial. But I still have the utmost respect for what they're doing. I really appreciate what they're doing, as otherwise, it would be much greater priority to do that stuff ourselves. And a lot of people really like that stuff and would refuse to use LaunchBox or BigBox without those kinds of features. So it's really, really important that Rocket Launcher is there and works well with LaunchBox and BigBox. So there's huge purpose for it. I just don't prefer to use it personally. Yeah, unfortunately, Sentai Brad is a stubborn individual. I've tried to get him to make a rocket launcher tutorial, and he's just not interested in doing it because he doesn't use it either. And so that's been the trouble there. So you guys, I want you, if you guys want Brad to create a tutorial, everybody get on him, get on his butt to do it, because he will do it. It's just he's stubborn, and getting him to learn it and do it is difficult. I could force him to do it, but the thing is, I don't like forcing creative people to do things they don't want to do, because that's like uh, trying to get an artist to draw something they don't want to draw. And what you're going to end up with is a crappy product. You know what I mean? If you tell somebody to build something they don't want to build, you're not going to get a good product built. So I try not to make Brad make or do anything that isn't something he wants to do, for the purposes of I want good things being produced. And forcing people to build something they don't want to build is a good way to get a crappy product out the door. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. But yeah, I would love it if Brad created a rocket launcher tutorial. It'd be wonderful. The other thing is, the best guy to do it, I think, would be Simply Austin. So get after Simply Austin too, guys. Frankly, his rocket launcher video that he already built for us was wonderful and got me up and going. But certainly it didn't cover a lot of the process where you get started from scratch. So he would be the best guy to build it, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he has a more in-depth introduction video for rocket launcher. I'm not sure. Sentai Brad is the guy who builds all our tutorial videos on YouTube, Stiffless. Make all of his videos private until rocket launcher. That would be productive. Hey, Twitch. We are working on LaunchBox and Big Box. I'll show you what that is real quick here. This is Big Box. It's in C#. And then what are we going to do next, guys? So this is Big Box Twitch. It's used for arcade cabinets and home theater environments. And there's a LaunchBox desktop backend as well. It's themable and everything else. Thank you, Twitch. Appreciate that. Yeah, and hopefully, you know, Stiffless, hopefully LaunchBox is as easy to use. You don't even need a tutorial, but some people prefer watching the tutorials because it is nice to have a little bit of hand holding. And we have a ton of those tutorials, like, I don't know how many, probably 100 tutorials by now. I don't even know, because we've been putting out a new tutorial pretty much every week. So I guess probably not 100, I don't know. But anyways, so what are we going to do now, guys? Nobody's seeing the freezes. I don't know what I'm going to do about that anyways, unless I get some kind of lead on that. So I don't even remember why I put that down on my list. I haven't seen any freezes either, so I'm going to just assume that's not a thing. Wheels skipping around, I have no idea how to reproduce that. Doesn't make any sense because I haven't seen that anywhere either. So that maybe I can talk to Shinra and see if he can make a video for me of what's going on or something. I'm not sure. The merch, obviously, that's not development. We need the translation packages. This is weird. LaunchBox can't find Neo Geo games with / when I import ROMs to SNK Neo Geo, it can't find anything for games like Alright, so this is a search issue. I don't know that I'm going to get into that right now. The Italian translation, I need to load up all the forums and test stuff. This is Keith with Monster Arcades. I'm working on him with some stuff. But I've done that, so I don't need to leave that in the list. Downloads from Azure. Basically, I wanted to put up the main LaunchBox downloads into Azure in order to hopefully make them quicker for worldwide downloads. Some people, I don't know what it is with the UK, guys. I don't know. I don't know why we got so many problems with the UK, but people in the UK for some reason have horribly slow downloads for the LaunchBox application, which doesn't make any sense because it's plenty fast for most people, and it only randomly happens. I don't get it. Star ratings for custom themes. So this is custom theme stuff. This is LaunchBox Games Database stuff, which I definitely need to work on. More custom theme stuff. More custom theme stuff. Let's put all the custom theme stuff together. This is voice recognition stuff. The biggest thing I need to solve right now, other than the LaunchBox Games Database, because that's a big priority, is figuring out how to fix this stuff for Europe, because things aren't working in the UK specifically, and I don't really know why. I can't seem to figure that one out. So the process of fixing that, unfortunately, is going to be a royal pain. But my plan is to install a virtual machine with a UK version of Windows. Ultimately, and then test things out and debug things and see what I can get figured out. So that's the plan there, and that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. Pac-Man, thanks. Yeah, I'm aware of that copy paste issue. Unfortunately, that's not going to be a simple one to fix, largely because that's just how the grid works. So fixing that's going to be a hack. It's not going to be easy. I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. So unfortunately, that's not going to be quick. I think that's what that is. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's copy paste. Yep. That's the Microsoft. It's the Microsoft data grid view, and not going to be easy to fix because it's the Microsoft control that's causing that. Text to speech, that would be neat, but I think we need to focus on the bugs here first. Hey EA. Quite slow in Turkey updating, yeah. So yeah, I am going to get. I'm hoping what I'm going to do is get the downloads up in Azure. I suppose I could work on that. Probably not, though. That's probably not a good thing to tackle. I should probably tackle that when I work on the games database later this week. Well, that's awesome, Elliot. Text to speech would be a great thing to finish up for Retropalooza. I can see that. Huh. Interesting. Okay, you read. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much appeal that's really gonna have though. Beatlemaniac, because I mean, people like the big graphics. They like the big, in-your-face video graphics movement stuff. How many people are going to be that interested in sitting there and listening to you read the entire description? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to be that appealing. Mammal, we already have Martin C, who's doing a lot of this testing. So I've got lots of users who are doing the testing for the voice recognition. So unfortunately, at this point, I don't think there's anything additional to test. All I know is it doesn't work, and I don't have anything else to test. So what I need to do is I'm going to get a VM going, virtual machine going, install a UK version of Windows on it, and then test things out and debug things and see if I can figure it out. Transfer rate indicator. Sure, possibly. Although that's not going to speed anything up. Sure, that makes sense, Jade. name of the system in the game. Sure. So yeah, we could add lots of options there. So we'll get to that, but I'm not sure that's going to happen this coming week. We'll see. We will see. For now, maybe I should get a VM going, a UK VM, and I think. Well, I might actually already have a VM. Let's check that here. What is it? Hyper-V. I type hyper and I'm thinking hyperspin. It's funny. So this is Hyper-V. I have a Windows 10 installation already. So in theory, what I should be able to do is boot this up. Boot this VM up. And I don't know what state it's in right now. We might have to go back. We'll see. Multiple wheels. I'm getting more and more convinced every single day to add the multiple wheels stuff. All right. So I think that's going to be a priority here soon. However, we have a lot of other stuff that I do need to do first. One is multiple monitor support. That one's huge. Anybody who has an arcade cabinet that has a marquee in the header, we got to support those guys somehow. We also got to support the ability to choose which monitor Big Box starts up on. So that kind of stuff is going to take a priority here soon. Okay. What's taking so long here? Come on. Looks like it's working now. But yeah, we'll get there very, 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 very soon, I hope. The other thing is with the multiple wheels, that's not just a big box change. That's also a LaunchBox change because we got to be able to manage that in LaunchBox, which is more of a thing, perhaps more work actually than even just implementing it in big box. So I don't know. And then we have to figure out how to represent that in the sidebar. So, what is it? That's a good idea, Rincewind. Sure, we that's another thing we got to do. We got to. There's potential for 1 million more voice commands. The voice commands are still extremely simple. There's not much there yet. So there's a lot of potential there for voice commands to add. So that's another big thing. Sure. Yep. I agree that we definitely need to add some more voice commands. That's big. And I did have a few of them on my list, but there's a lot to add. So I need to figure out if I can change this to a UK version of Windows. And I know I can do that somehow. Might want to make a snapshot. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. Language. Yeah, they do. English United States. Add a language. This is kind of amazing looking into this. English. Open. Look at all the different versions of English that you can use for Windows. English United Kingdom. And what this will do, if I remember correctly, is actually download from the web, unless it's already installed. Move up. So we make English United Kingdom the priority. And I'm going to remove English United States. Windows display language available for download. So I need a download. I don't know. Download and install language pack. There it is. Interesting. Hopefully this is it looks like it's connected. I hope the internet connection actually works. Good. It does. The reason why I'm doing this now, guys, is because I've been putting it off for way too long. I got to get this fixed for the UK people, because we do have a very large UK audience, of course. There's no reason why it shouldn't work, so I really got to get this done. So I know this probably isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but we definitely need to get this going and tested. So Beatlemaniac, we do have different voices supported already. There are 2 voices that come with Windows, at least Windows 10, and you can select between the 2, and you can add additional voices all you want to Windows, and then you can use them in LaunchBox and BigBox, just change them in the drop-down. So that's already supported. Morgan Freeman is not supported. I wish. That comes up constantly. It's funny. The thing is, you know, we don't need to get into the nitty gritty of why it would be difficult to have speech synthesis generate a voice that sounds just like Morgan Freeman. That would be pretty difficult to do. But I think people have done it for GPSs, but they use recorded voices, and there's a big difference between doing it with a GPS with recorded voices and doing it with speech synthesis, which is very different. Come on, hurry up, guy. Initializing installation. Of course, VMs can be very slow, sadly. Just out of curiosity. It doesn't look like my RAM is being a bottleneck right now. Ah, the disk is the bottleneck. Disk is slow in VMs because it's a dynamically expanding virtual hard disk, so that's probably the biggest issue. And my drive D isn't the fastest drive in the world, so you know what's interesting while this is working, I was looking into potentially upgrading my hardware recently, because I'm a firm believer that you ought to spend the money to keep your hardware up for business. You really got to spend the money to keep your hardware up to date, because otherwise you're just throwing money out the window. Because the more time I sit here and wait for something, the less productive I'm going to be. So I definitely keep all my hardware up to date. But I was doing research on whether it's worth upgrading this machine. And if you compare the i7 4770K to the newest stuff, it's a joke. There's no reason to upgrade. You're not going to get very many performance improvements at all. So it's like, I mean, how long have I had this thing? It's been what, 3 years, and believe it or not, Intel hasn't come out with any major improvements. I was really surprised by that. So yeah, I'll be sticking with this CPU at least. I might upgrade the video card at some point, but it's the CPU that really that I could use a huge boost with, unless I go with a Xeon or something like that. It's like because we do video encoding and all kinds of stuff now. So like these 3 hour live streams take a good hour and a half to render after I'm done with this stuff, to add the intro and cut off the beginning and the end, and change the audio to be the right level, stuff like that. In Premiere, it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours to render that video. So yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I could go with a larger SSD to replace my Drive D. Right now I've got I think it's only 256 gigs for the OS, but that's plenty. Dang, this is taking forever. That's plenty fast. Yeah, it's only 256 gigs. It's a good drive, but it's kind of small. But anyways, then this guy, it's only 2 terabytes. But yeah, obviously my biggest bottleneck right now is this 2 terabyte spinning hard drive. But I can't really afford a 2 terabyte SSD. I might be able to do a 1 terabyte SSD, but that's not going to be enough space for me, so I don't know. Darth Vader sound pack, that'd be awesome, yeah. Ah, morphing. Yeah, I remember that coming up. Adding voice morphing, that would be pretty neat. I could fix another bug just to kill time, but you know what? I'm being lazy. And I'm having fun talking to you guys. Hey, Bomarolo, welcome. Can't believe how long this has taken, though. It's kind of crazy. We could pull up Bitbucket. So I assume this is the ticket that we were just talking about earlier. I don't remember who had that issue. I hope it's not being caused. It's not happening for multiple people. If it is, then definitely something we need to look at. Will not open. So yeah, we are getting this with multiple people. Look at this. 2 different tickets with the beta. And this just came in 16 minutes ago. So I assume this is with the beta. It has to be. But of course the ticket came in as anonymous, so talking with this guy is going to be impossible. And this, when you switch so we should test switching the image type. This is from Ali. How we doing here? I have a feeling if I load up Big Box right now, it's going to be slow and clunky because we got this VM running, but we'll give it a shot. Switching the box type. I haven't tested that in a long time, so maybe we do have an issue with that. Worth checking. Please don't try installing BS on that VM. I might need to. We'll see. We got 45 minutes. We got the time. After updating the metadata of a title. I'll have to check that, Moose. So first off, I don't remember, without being at my cabinet, I don't remember what my keyboard combination is for switching the image type. Keyboard mappings. Switch image type is set to 1.1. So let's go into master system. No, let's go into SNES. And he was on the cover flow view. Oh, which we need. I need to know what I've mapped to switching the view to. 5, I think, is what it is. There it is. So he was on this view, and he was switching the image type. Yeah, we do have a glitch. Look at that. Yuck. Whoops. That's probably in 6.9 too, which is unfortunate. So that's an important one to fix. Huh. Why would that be happening? It's not switching the image type, and it is duplicating all the images. I'm guessing that happened. I'm guessing this happened when we implemented the looping cover flow, and I'm guessing this is only affecting the cover flow. So let's find that out. Yep, it's happening on this one as well. And if we go into the wheel, I'm curious if it's happening on the wheel. No, of course not, because this one is just the using the, okay. So yeah, I believe it's just, yeah, it's just an issue with the cover flow, and it probably has to do with the fact that we implemented the looping cover flow. But yeah, that's a big issue to fix. Looping cover flow messed up the switch image type functionality. So we can look into that. This is done. It's still installing. What the heck is it doing? My goodness. The disk is still the bottleneck. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so looking into this issue. The cover flow. Wait, this is something we're gonna have to walk through. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna end up debugging this, but we got to get the breakpoints in the right spot. So first off, start with a main view model and on switch image type. We'll put a breakpoint here and we'll start here and walk through it. Moose, is passing the version number when creating a ticket out of LaunchBox to the post an idea? Oh, man, you know, it isn't. And I need to automate that whole process. One thing that's irritating is that nobody reads the instructions and nobody follows the instructions. So yeah, the more of that I can automate, the better. And that is a good idea, is to automatically output that into the text. That would be good. I've we used to have a better solution where it was more automatic and sent all that stuff to me via email, and then we switched to the Bitbucket ticket thing, and unfortunately, it's just it's not possible to automate it to that extent. Animated GIFs in the background. You can already do that with custom themes, but I'm not sure if that's feasible for the regular backgrounds. I don't think it is. Well, it's doable, but it's going to be a lot of work. I have a feeling. In order to do it without causing extensive additional performance issues, to do it for everything, I'm not sure. Yeah, snapshot, absolutely. Kind of scared of doing a snapshot though, because the last time I tried to do a snapshot, it broke something. It like crashed Hyper-V or something stupid. I don't know. I don't know why that happened, because I've used snapshots extensively in the past, but for some reason on this machine lately, when I've tried to do it, it's crapped out. Video Stifless linked is a morphed voice. Yeah, I think. All right, I'll pull that up.
Hello again. Take a system from the wheel. Another Obviate emulator.
That's pretty cool.
Amstrad GX 4000. Atari 2600.
That does sound pretty neat.
Atari 5200.
Hmm.
Atari 7800. Atari Jaguar.
Cool.
Atari Lynx.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Pac-Man, yeah, I get you. And that's what I did last time, and it's still had an issue. It like corrupted the whole thing. It was weird. Bomarolo, you can create an editor to create backgrounds for Big Box. Backgrounds? Um, that the backgrounds are just images. So I'm not following. You talking about a theme editor? Hey, Game Room. Yeah, I missed you joining. Sorry about that. The fading of the wheel. That's something that we definitely want to add. I would slide the wheel in and out, an option for that. Anyways, this is finally done. We were going to look into this, put a breakpoint on this, so we'll get to that. But this, we're finally configured to UK English. Will be enabled on next sign in. All right. So let's just restart that. And this is going to be slow, but let's go ahead and get a session going. Debug session so we can figure out what's going on here. Oh, is that in the VM? It is. That's not pretty. I'm rebooting an OS and compiling at the same time. It is not going to go quickly. Yeah, I've used VMware as well. I've used all three of them, the big three, pretty extensively. And VMware, yeah. Uh, the only reason why I'm not using VMware right now is because Hyper-V is free. Yeah, for me. So, but yeah, I can appreciate VMware. I've used VMware quite a bit. Syphilis. Make sure you wash your hands. Come on, what's going on here? Where's my All right, we're finally starting big box. Everything's going slow. Trying to do all this stuff at once. I'm sure the hard drive is the bottleneck again. Bomarolo. An editor like there was in Maximus Arcade where you could create backgrounds for platforms adding GIF files and FLV. I see. So yeah, you're talking about custom themes. Um, and we have an edit. We have that stuff, but it's not as drag and drop easy, admittedly, as some of the other stuff out there. So eventually, we can look into doing something like that, but that's not simple. It would take a long time to implement, months probably of development, maybe a month of development to get something like that going. So unfortunately, I can't make that a high priority right now because there's all kinds of other stuff to do instead. But anyways, yeah, we'll get there eventually. Yeah, I know about that, Jade. VMware Player, but Hyper-V has a lot more features, of course. So I'd rather use Hyper-V over VMware Player because VMware Player is pretty restricted. Um, Login. So Big Box is running down here too. See how horribly slow things are here. Is it ever going to load my videos? There it goes. So we are. I need to pull up Visual Studio over here and switch the image type and walk through it for the cover flow views. Let's go into 2600 and cover flow. And press 1. There it is. So now I'm over here walking through the code. And games view model is not null, so we'll walk into that. On switch image type. So we get our new image type, 3D boxes. That should be correct. And we call this .refresh game images. And we're calling flow control.clear. And then populate games. So something in there is messing it up. That makes sense. I think put a breakpoint on that. This is gonna be an interesting one to fix, but it's good to see where exactly this is happening. Populate games. Probably want to put a breakpoint in on this. Oops. I don't think there's anything odd going on here other than maybe resetting the... Yeah, I don't... know of anything going on there that would be causing an issue. We have index, but it happens even if index is already 0, so that's not the issue. So let's walk through this. Immediate window, games.count. Yeah. 473. Games 0. Yeah. Come on, wake up. This is adventure. Games dot skip. One dot take one dot first. And the second one is asteroid. So it's not it isn't just getting the same game for any reason or anything like that. So it's in the cover flow control that the problem is, looks like. Now put breakpoints in here because it's not gonna. Flow control equals this dot flow control. We do index updated from mouse. Image type is boxes. Well, that's interesting. Why is it not setting the flow control's image type? That's weird. Although that doesn't sound like that would be the issue either. Go through each game. Set the first game. Then we say flow control.add game. Static fade, cinematic 1080p. Where do you put those files? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I've ever played with that. I don't know. I don't know. Picky. Yes, we call our bathrooms washrooms. Beatlemaniac, unfortunately, no, I can't, because that is basically just a recording that I made a long time ago of my own voice, morphed using, what did I use? I used some kind of audio processing plugin for that. Bathrooms. Oh, in the UK, they call the entire bathroom the toilet. So you can literally, if you're in the UK, it's perfectly acceptable to say that you're going to go wash your hands in the toilet. Yep, little weird. Universally different in every country. Yep. Bomarolo. Can I add an option that does not allow copying of the hard disk where you installed LaunchBox and various emulators? Why would I do that, Bomarolo? Yeah, there's a lot of them. Okay. What's Bomarolo saying here, guys? Add an option that does not allow copying of the hard disk where you install LaunchBox and various emulators. We kind of want to allow people to copy their stuff wherever they want. That's kind of the point. So I'm confused. Anyways. So the add method is what's being called. And why would the add method be messing things up? I don't know. Adventure. Asteroids. That's interesting. The image type is not changing properly like it should. I don't know why that is. So that's one issue. I don't know if that's going to solve the other issues, though. And why was that just introduced? I don't know. Look at that. Anyways. I think we'll get back to that. I'm going to go back here. So first off, only if the image type is empty or not contains image type? Oh, I see. Ah. That's interesting. So it's only if it hasn't been set that it's setting it. Unless maybe it's setting that somewhere else, but... So that's what I need to check. Over here, though, since that's taken so long to come back, because I'm exhausting this computer, we should be in UK English. Why am I still using a US keyboard, though? Goodness sakes. How many different things do I got to change? English, United Kingdom, Windows display language. Country or region. Okay. United Kingdom. Additional date, time, and regional settings. Date and time. Language. Region. Match Windows display language, input methods, keyboard layout, United Kingdom. I think it's all set now. No. What the heck? Whatever. Speech. Language you speak to your device. Now we have to add UK speech recognition stuff. And now I'm seeing this weirdness. Why do we have mobile text to speech whenever we change to a UK? I don't know. But this is the kind of stuff that has been causing us issues. So I'm glad I'm at least seeing how this stuff works. But don't ask me why. I don't know. So I'll keep playing with this stuff. Over here, though, where are we setting the flow control image type in this This is in populate games. We set it. That's it. We don't set it anywhere else. So that needs changed. I don't know how that was ever working though. So apparently we do it every time in this situation, but we don't in this situation. What the heck? So that's first thing we need to do. We need to fix that first and see if that helps anything. Huh. I don't understand why you'd want that feature, Bomarolo. Can somebody ask Bomarolo why he'd want the ability to lock down his collection so it couldn't be copied like that? Yeah, Jade already did. Yeah, that's a good point. You could do that with BitLocker. You can always encrypt a hard drive that way. Um, but yeah, for LaunchBox, it doesn't really make sense. You would have to do that at the file system level in order to properly protect things. Yeah, way back, we had quite a few people using LaunchBox with Wine. I don't know how well it works now. We use a lot of features now that that are only there in Windows 7 Plus, and I don't know how well Wine is working with, for one thing, the latest versions of .NET, and for another thing, Windows 7 Plus features. I don't know if they've kept up to date. It used to be that LaunchBox did work halfway decently in Wine, but I haven't tried it in a very long time. Big Box probably is going to be another story. I don't know. I don't know if there's any WPF support in Wine. All right. So we did that. Our build succeeded. Let's try it again and see what happens this time. Okay. So it's... Wow, that's a new one. Dropbox probably was getting in the way. Box. Ha. Yeah. Never mind.
I never do.
So I'm guessing... Yeah, we need to do something about that. That's not good. Huh. We'll come back to that though. And then it just shut down. Interesting. I think I might have seen that once before, a very long time ago. I think it's just a conflict in the file system where Dropbox is trying to access something and we're trying to overwrite it. Okay, try this again. Yeah, okay, so... Are you serious? It's happening every single time? What in the heck? That's really quite interesting. Huh. Well, this is obviously an important one to solve. It's happening every time. I think it's because it's redoing the same image over and over and over again. So that's the real problem. But that needs fixed too. So at least the image type is switching now, but why is it doing the same image over and over and over? That's what I don't know. So that's what we got to look at. And why was this just introduced? It's pretty strange. I need the flow control. I have an idea, actually. Let me pull that up. Ready for presentation. I have a feeling oh, that's okay. Okay, we set at the end of the populate games process, we set ready for presentation equals true. Perhaps we just need to set ready for presentation equals false. Or something of that nature. We have a knit. But this is the one we're interested in. I remember dealing with something related to this stuff, and it had to do with it presenting things too early and making calculations too early on in the process. So I'm hoping that this will do it. That would be nice. We shall see. Why this was just introduced as a problem, though, I don't know. This used to work just fine until we did the looping cover flow. So that's a little strange. Do we not say, It doesn't do anything now. Oh, come on. Call populate games, which should say ready for presentation equals true. And then go to index 0. Where are we at on comments? Oh man, DOS. Come on, dude. Foxy, unrelated, but has anyone experienced this error message in Windows 10? Application has been blocked from accessing graphics hardware. Nope. That's interesting. Never seen that one myself. Hey, Teddy. Yeah, I'm working on a bunch of bugs. Bomarolo, you could copy the hard drive if the owner of the hard disk you want to be the password, and make the copy without password you cannot copy. That's the same thing as what is it? Drive BitLocker. That's a Microsoft thing. So again, that doesn't have anything to do with LaunchBox or BigBox. Sounds like you just want BitLocker, which is a Microsoft Windows feature that will lock down your drive so it can't be copied. I have no idea what's been done today. I've been here since the beginning, but it's been fun. That's funny. Just nod wisely. I need to protect against people who do not want them coming into possession of my hard disk. Cloning can do without my authorization. So encrypt it, yeah. Hey, 3D Imagination. Has anyone ever gone to launchbox.com on accident? Yeah. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. This same site has been here the entire time. I tried to land launchbox.com a long time ago, and they've been doing it. They've had the same site this whole time. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of doubt they're getting any good traffic that's useful to them, but I'm sure they're getting a lot more traffic. Yeah. Ah, thanks, Game Room. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, I am. Hey, launchbox.com is actually Jason's secret company. That's funny. Uh, I am going to be struggling through this stuff with the English, UK English for the voice recognition, trying to get that to work, as well as, trying to fix this issue with the flow control, um, switching the stuff, and then going through Bitbucket, switching the image types, and then going through Bitbucket and trying to fix more glitches today. And we might actually end up, because some of these glitches that I've run into are significant enough that we might end up putting out a new official release before the end of the week. And that, as well as the performance improvements that I put in yesterday, are pretty significant. So we might end up putting a new release out here sooner rather than later. Just because some of these things I would love to get fixed in the official release. So, and it's typical for us to put out a bug fix release shortly after big major releases like 6.9. So I think that's what we're going to shoot for this week, is to wrap up any major bugs that we can get fixed, and then put out 6.10 maybe over the weekend or something like that. So I think that's the game plan, unless, it can always change, but bugs are what are the focus for the moment. And we can get back to new fun stuff here probably next week. I thank you guys. We catch up on the comments here before we end it. I have not offered to buy the domain because, frankly, they're a business. They're obviously making money with the domain, so it's not going to be cheap. And I'm not a big believer in the fact that buying launchbox.com would really help us out very much. Google has launchbox-app.com, mapped all over the place. So if you search, for example, you go to Google, you search for LaunchBox, we kill everybody else. We just murder everybody else. We're number one on top. Big in your face, all this different stuff. So this is what matters a whole lot more than having launchbox.com, having Google, the primary result for LaunchBox being our site, is the important thing. So I'm not too worried about. And then look, we got the LaunchBox channel in there too. So, and then of course we got the Magic Flight Vaporizer, LaunchBox Vaporizer. I don't know what LaunchBox 365 is, but anyways, interesting. But yeah, and even our Twitter's on the first page. So that's what, to me, that's what matters way more than having launchbox.com. So no, I never really thought that was worth pursuing. Yeah, they would probably want a pretty penny. That's exactly right. Take it easy, guys. Nice weekend. It's only Wednesday. But I hear you. Yeah, we're not going to be back in the live stream until Monday. So happy struggling. Thank you, Moose. Take it easy, Shades. Camel. Later, Moose. Thanks, Teddy. I appreciate that. Later, Elliot. Quad. Sure, Camel. Beat a Maniac. Yeah, absolutely. I've done lots of SEO. DJ Quad. Game Room. Moose. Take it easy, guys. Thank you, Foxy. Take care, Pac-Man.